Plato stands as a colossal figure in the history of Western thought. His philosophical inquiries spanning ethics, politics, metaphysics, and epistemology have left an indelible mark on intellectual discourse for over 2 millennia. Born in Athens in 428 or 427 BCE, Plato's life and ideas were deeply intertwined with the tumultuous socio-political landscape of his time. This essay delves into Plato's life, explores his major philosophical contributions, and examines his enduring legacy in the modern world. Plato's early life was marked by both privilege and upheaval. Born into an aristocratic Athenian family, he witnessed firsthand the Peloponnesian War's devastating impact on his city-state. This period of instability and societal decay profoundly shaped his worldview, instilling in him a deep yearning for order, justice, and stability. It was during this time that Plato encountered Socrates, a philosopher whose relentless questioning and pursuit of truth would forever alter the course of Plato's life. Socrates' influence on Plato cannot be overstated. Socrates' method of dialectic, a rigorous process of questioning and critical analysis, became the cornerstone of Plato's own philosophical approach. Through his dialogues, often featuring Socrates as the central character, Plato grappled with fundamental questions about justice, virtue, knowledge, and the nature of reality. Socrates' unwavering commitment to truth and his defiance of Athenian authorities ultimately led to his trial and execution on charges of impiety and corrupting the youth. Socrates' death deeply affected Plato. It solidified his disillusionment with Athenian democracy and fueled his belief that society required a more enlightened form of governance. This conviction formed the basis of Plato's most famous work, The Republic, a seminal text in political philosophy. In The Republic, Plato outlines his vision of an ideal state ruled by philosopher kings, individuals possessing wisdom, reason, and a deep understanding of justice. Plato's Republic is a complex and multifaceted work that explores the nature of justice, the ideal state, and the human soul. Central to Plato's vision is the belief that true justice can only be achieved when society is governed by those with the knowledge and wisdom to do so. These philosopher kings, as Plato envisioned them, would be rigorously educated in philosophy, mathematics, and ethics, enabling them to rule with reason and justice. Plato's concept of philosopher kings stems from his profound skepticism towards democracy. He believed that ordinary citizens, driven by self-interest and swayed by rhetoric, lacked the necessary knowledge and wisdom to make sound political decisions. In Plato's ideal state, power would be entrusted to those who had proven themselves capable of transcending personal desires and ruling for the common good. The Republic is not merely a blueprint for an ideal state, it's also an allegory for the human soul. Plato argued that the soul, like the state, is composed of 3 parts: reason, spirit, and appetite. Just as justice in the state is achieved through the harmonious balance of its 3 classes, so too is individual justice attained through the harmonious balance of the soul's 3 parts. Reason, guided by wisdom, should govern the soul, while spirit and appetite are kept in check. Plato's Republic has been both praised and criticized throughout history. Its critics argue that philosopher kings are an unrealistic ideal and that placing unchecked power in the hands of an elite few inevitably leads to tyranny. Nevertheless, the Republic remains a cornerstone of political philosophy, prompting ongoing debates about the nature of justice, the role of government, and the qualities of an ideal ruler. Beyond his political philosophy, Plato made significant contributions to metaphysics, epistemology, and ethics. Central to his metaphysical system is the theory of forms. According to Plato, the physical world we perceive with our senses is but a shadow of a higher realm of forms. These forms, such as beauty, justice, and truth, are eternal, unchanging, and perfect archetypes that exist independently of the physical world. Plato's theory of forms stems from his observation that the physical world is in a constant state of flux and change. True knowledge, he argued, cannot be derived from such an unreliable source. Instead, true knowledge is knowledge of the forms, which are eternal and unchanging. Plato believed that we have innate knowledge of the forms, acquired before birth, and that philosophical inquiry is a process of recollection, of remembering what our souls once knew. Plato's epistemology. his theory of knowledge is closely tied to his theory of forms. He believed that true knowledge is not acquired through sensory experience but through reason and recollection. In his dialogue Meno, Plato famously argues that even an uneducated slave boy, when properly guided through questioning, can discover geometrical truths, demonstrating the innate nature of knowledge. In ethics, Plato emphasized the importance of virtue and living a life guided by reason. He believed that true happiness, or eudaimonia, is achieved through the harmonious balance of the soul's three parts. Just as a well-ordered state requires justice, so too does a well-ordered soul require virtue. Plato identified four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Plato's philosophical contributions have had a profound and lasting impact on Western thought. His ideas influenced countless philosophers, theologians, and political thinkers throughout history, from Aristotle to Augustine to Thomas Aquinas. The Academy, the school he founded in Athens, became a center of learning and scholarship, attracting some of the brightest minds of the ancient world. Today, Plato's works continue to be studied and debated in universities and intellectual circles worldwide. His ideas remain relevant to contemporary discussions about justice, ethics, the nature of reality, and the role of government. While some of his views, such as his support for philosopher kings, may seem impractical or even undesirable in the modern world, his emphasis on reason, virtue, and the pursuit of truth continues to resonate with those seeking to understand the human condition and create a more just and equitable society. From his theory of forms to his concept of the philosopher king, Plato's ideas have shaped Western civilization's intellectual landscape for centuries. His enduring legacy lies not only in the specific doctrines he espoused, but also in the spirit of critical inquiry, the pursuit of truth, and the belief in the power of reason that permeate his work. As long as humans grapple with fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, and the good life, Plato's ideas will continue to inspire, challenge, and provoke thoughtful reflection.